On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, Kenner and I are still living in the afterglow of episode 100, and hey, we got a hanger on her. You know, some people just don't realize when the party's over, but that's okay. We're in for a good time. We're going to tell some good stories. We're going to make some good jokes. We're going to look at some questionable products and even a scam. I mean, what more could you want? Well, we got plenty. You're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and V. Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, pour pussies, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that has always been WYSIWYG. I'm your host, Howard Blues. Here, as always, well, not quite. You see, my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder, well, he's live on location. Kidder, what's going on?
Well, Howard, I'm hanging out here with Johnny Depp, but he's not the only famous person here. Look who I happen to run into. Yes, it's the local Geek.
How's it going?
It's great, man. I can see you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's been a good birthday.
Not only are we here at, yes, where are we? Well, Dialectic Brewing Company. The local Geek likes sharing all of the products here and whatnot. And, of course, you know, we talk about the products that he makes, too. The Brewmaster Triple B. What do you got brewing?
I have a porter that I just recently finished, and then I think the plan next is a Maibach coming up here.
And how does that taste?
It's going to be a dark beer, so it's going to have a lot of those roasty notes. Not super hoppy. I think it's like 6%, if I remember right. So right in that ballpark.
Awesome. Sounds great. Looking forward to it. Tonight, what else are you doing?
Just hanging out for my birthday. Got a group of my friends over here.
Let's take a look. There's the people. There they are. They didn't say hi. They're not interested in being on the show.
Had some cheesecake, had quite a few beers. Can't complain about that.
Good. Well, happy birthday. Thanks for being the brewmaster of the Triple B. We appreciate it. Now, how about some fun?
I'll be back in a couple weeks with that Porters.
Okay, we're looking forward to it. Hey, Howard, back to you in the studio.
All right, Kidder, well, while you get back to the studio so we can continue the show, allow me to introduce, because, you know, last week we had the big episode 100. It was a true Triple B celebration. And like any good party, there's always that one person that just hangs on, just won't let the party end, just has to stick around until you're like trying to shove them out the door. And wouldn't you know it, we have one of those, and it's none other than everybody's favorite troll. That's right, the minister of trolling here on the Triple B. Big D, you're still here. Don't you have something better to do?
I am still here. I am the wheel that keeps squeaking. I am the turd that won't flush. Let's see here. I'm sure there are any other number of colorful metaphors I could use to describe myself. But yes, I am still here. Always good to hang out with all one of you, because Kidder's not there with you, because he's hiding, running off, doing something around the birthday party, it sounded like.
Yeah, you know, that's Kidder for you. You're invited to all of the most popular shindigs. You know, you always got to have a local celebrity at your local shindig, and you know, they managed to get Kidder there. You know, how it goes. But he should be back in studio any moment. So great. We get to hear how the party was. If he stayed for the cake, you know.
Well, hey guys,
Kidder, welcome to the show again.
What's up? Thanks. It's good to be back. Like I never left. It's great. Speaking of never left, I see Big D's here.
I did leave, and then I came back. I mean, last week to this week, you know.
So he says. He'd probably like hid out behind the bar so that we, you know, wouldn't throw him out.
I can see that.
Living off all the maraschino cherries that we have stocked back there.
They're not being used for anything else.
Damn it, Howard! You gave away what my birthday gift to Kidder was going to be.
Thought it was just your food intake, so that's what keeps you alive. It's your sustenance out of the week. I'm staying alive on sugar and maraschino cherries. You've lived life difficult. I'll tell you difficult. One cherry at a time.
So, Kidder, and I'm going to just flip some stuff on the old run sheet here because, you were at the local geek's birthday, and happy birthday to the local geek. I wish I could have been there. I was here watching the kids, so unfortunately I didn't get to attend. But tell us, how was the festivities? How were the beverages? Because you guys were at Dialectic. How was it? What was the atmosphere?
Chill, man. Just chill. It's good stuff. Had their cream soda and their orange cream soda and one of their craft beers as well. Very good. Very tasty. Got to see local geek and hang out with him. The Triple B Brewmaster, as we discussed earlier. Lots of his friends were there, and so we got to have some fun. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we've met before. You do that podcast." I'm glad that the notoriety is getting there. We're finally making it somewhere. And they're even like, "Hey, episode 100 is coming up." And I'm like, "Wow!" It's like people actually know something that's happening. This is the Twilight Zone. This is great. Thanks to local geek for sharing all the information and paying them all off to make me feel better.
Hey,
and the cheesecake, I did not partake. However, he brought a cheesecake. So there's beer and cheesecake.
Just gotta say, if it makes you feel better, Kidder, you so far still are the only member of this podcast who's ever been recognized as being, a guy with a podcast. So
I mean, it's not like the old glorious radio days. I mean, this is episode 101, and I am synonymous with a 101, not to be mentioned because I don't work for them and they don't pay me anymore. So terrestrial radio can suck it. But yes, synonymous. And Howard was even noticed several times back in the glory days of radio. Not as Howard, but as other people like Silent Bob. He's just Silent Howard, or other people too, right?
Yeah. Also, just as a legitimate employee of Rock 101.
No, you said it. Why did you do that?
Because I could.
This is why we can't have nice things or sponsorships, because you just throw it out there for free.
Hey, we had an offer for a sponsorship. I mean, yes, it was a jewelry scam, but Kidder, I know this is further down the run sheet, but hey, we got another offer, man.
Another
one. Apparently, a different rival jewelry company has reached out to us, and they want us to demo their jewelry on our Instagram, because that's what we do on the Triple B Instagram page, is apparently demonstrate jewelry. But limited market again, Kidder. They only have 4 open spots on this one, so we better act now.
I bet we didn't act fast enough, because this was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we probably missed out on that one. I mean, which is a shame, because we could have used Big D. I'm sure he would make an excellent jewelry model.
Yeah,
I don't know how to take that.
Necklaces in his mouth and things. He just sits there like every time. He's got a ring. Look at this bracelet. We got a necklace. Wow, those diamond earrings look great.
That's not the face of all this jewelry looks fantastic. That's the face of I have to poop.
Hey, man. I mean, you're talking about things and extra factor authentication. So, I mean, you go ahead and you share the samples and whatever you need. You do what you need to. I mean, I don't know where America is going these days, but it sounds like it's really become I was almost said the Triple B Business Center, but that's actually a classy place. That's Rude Boy Kyle's back deck. It's the Big D Business Center, which we all know gets you places.
Yeah.
No retort. Just speechless. Just laid it out there.
Because here's the thing. I was working on a joke in my mind about, if Big D was the jewelry model, then, he could get a new nickname of Lieutenant Bling, with his airmen. But that totally got thrown off when you said that the Triple B Business Center is Rude Boy Kyle's back deck, because that implies some things. And I don't know how Rude Boy Kyle feels about his deck being used for those things.
Well, we've done plenty of business on this show on that deck. there's been lots of business to happen there. Good deals, bad deals, alcohol.
I'm now going to look at episode 13 a whole lot differently after after this conversation. In fact, Kidder, I haven't consumed enough alcohol for this conversation. Let's try and put this train back on the tracks here and get to what's on tap.
How did the shark make it this far being so dry? Let's be honest. How did the shark get here?
Well, we reached 100 episodes and now we're not trying, apparently.
I thought it was just because I pre-gamed, but maybe that's just me.
Little A, little B. Big D, you're the guest, so what's on tap, good sir?
Alrighty. Well, this probably is not going to help my case very much, but I was in a kind of a fruity mood for no good reason. So last week I had the Earthquake High Gravity Lager. This time it's the Earthquake Pineapple because I feel like fruity. I'm probably going to regret this, but it's another 10%, 23.5 fluid ounces, and let's see here. There's nothing really about this, which is probably for the better, but for the Surgeon General's warning. So let's crack this bad boy open. So, fun fact, because I didn't want to go upstairs all the way and get this out of my fridge. Can't see it. The door that's kind of behind me is to a project room with a completely cement floor. I just had this laying on there because it's actually cold in that room, and makeshift fridge. It's actually not bad. I'll give it a 2.5.
I have a good place for you to put it outside.
So it can cool down more.
Uh-huh. Chill, man.
What do y'all drink?
Kidder, would you like to go next, or shall I?
You better go, because I don't know if I have anything left in here. I might just have to open a bottle of whiskey and start drinking that. It's gonna get a little spicy tonight.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Well, Kidder, I have a brew from the local Geek. This is the last, no, not quite the last. There's one more. But this is again from that delivery he made from Idaho. And I'm glad that you made a shark joke, Kidder, for when you see this can. This is from the Bombastic Brewing Company. This is a Shiver Coffee Stout. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's got 3 sharks on it. Coffee Stout from the Thomas Hammer Coffee Roasters. There's the lovely gentleman on the back with the hat. And hey, if you can scan that QR code, you might win something, much like the Avs, who just scored a goal that Kidder is celebrating and not interrupting me like he normally does.
No, the game's done. They won.
Oh, even better. You can win like the Avs. Yeah.
It was out in the background, and they didn't screw up the 5-1 lead with you watching it. So I just want to. That's why I'm like, look.
Kidder, that's because when I saw that the game was on, I have completely avoided that part of your screen. I'm like, no, don't watch. Let's see, what else can I tell you here?
Tell us the whole thing again, because I rudely interrupted you.
It's okay. Your slogan is "We know beer." This is a silky but bold imperial stout with notes of dark chocolate, mixing with Thomas Hammer coffee to create a delightful espresso flavor. A sipper for dessert or breakfast, if so inclined. So, knowing my speed that I drink beer, I'll still be having this for breakfast. This is 1 pint, and it is 10.5% alcohol by volume. So, Yeah. Mm-hmm. Smells like a coffee beer. It is really heavy on the chocolate. Really heavy on the chocolate. Hey, look, Mark Eater joined the podcast.
Hey guys, I'm glad to be back. It's like I never left. Speaking of never left, Big D's here, I see.
I am. And I wasn't even aware that you left because right now my computer is on the fritz. I can hear you guys. I can't see. So I can see Howard Blue's looking off to his left. It looks like I see Kidder making the angry cookie gnome face. And
That's just a mirrored image of you.
Not so much. Don't know if you could actually see that because, again, my camera's frozen, but...
Oh, no, you're in live living color.
Okay, well, that's good.
Cookie gnomes and all.
Although, with your beige walls and kind of brownish shirt and such, I mean, you look very, like, sepia toned.
You might be in the Big D Business Center again.
No, that's the door behind me that you can actually see.
Maybe you better go in there. Better reception. I hear they have high-speed Wi-Fi.
Anyway, back to this beer.
Yeah, just tell us about your damn beer, finally.
I mean, I have.
You do that while I pull up a picture of my bling.
Don't do that, Big D. This is a family show. I mean, this is okay. It's very chocolatey, and I don't know that I like that aspect of it. I don't really taste the coffee. I'd probably give this like a 2.5. It's okay. It'll take me all night to get through it. That's just how it is. So, Kidder, we know the beer fridge, the Triple B beer fridge, is running a bit low.
Yeah.
What are you going to pull out of it tonight? What are you going to have on what's on tap?
See, here's the thing. I have one more Mountain Time ale left before I have to go buy another quarter glorious multi-pack. And I don't want to, waste it and then have to go do that and then throw some more cans, to the wolves.
Because that's like alcohol abuse. So how about, this is close. Get my nice chilled glass.
Big D, I don't know if your camera has started updating again, but
It has. I approve.
I thought you might like that. It is the if it's not quite focusing or if it's too small, it does say property of Deep Space Nine, laser etched into the actual glass, and it's a legitimate Star Trek licensed merchandise on the other side.
Oh yeah.
So, it's like the other glass that I have that's reverse smoked, laser etched with Deep Space Nine and the Delta Shield comm badge from DS9, the later seasons, Voyager, First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis. So I'm pouring some glorious caramelly and, interesting taste stuff here of Templeton Rye. Yes, the good stuff. To close it up. Again, the 6-year, this one being an older bottle, but from Templeton, Iowa. So another Iowa product on the show. And big thanks to Rude Boy Kyle for introducing me and us. I believe, Howard, you've had this before, to the Templeton. Have you had this before, Howard? I think you've tasted it, right?
I think I might have had a taste of it once at your place, but it's been years, so I couldn't tell you.
What are you going down with the Titanic?
It's been 72 years since.
Hey guys, Big D's not the only thing that hung on from last week's episode. Apparently, Titanic jokes as well.
And
Something's
so
gotta
did
go
ball
down.
jokes. So,
It's tasty. It's good stuff. It is the good stuff. Triple B approved. Yeah, I think we were going to make another Titanic joke or something, and then Leonardo DiCaprio, and that movie has been out for over 25 years, so he's not involved with it anymore. Also, I believe that they actually squared out that wood panel at the end of the movie and proved that Jack could have crawled on top of the board as well and then been saved. But I think Kate Winslet's character's birthday was coming up the following week, and she would have been 25. So
That's right, folks. We are doing Leonardo DiCaprio jokes. My favorite Titanic story ever was going to it, in the small theater in Spearfish, and there was a classmate of mine who was sitting down very much in front, and it gets to that point in the movie where she's on the door, he's hanging off of it,
I thought
really
you were
sad.
talking about a different point earlier in the movie.
But she was eating a piece of candy, this gal, and it was so sad, and she got choked up and actually started choking, and started shoots the candy out of her mouth. Timing was perfect, because it was right at that point where Leonardo finally breaks off and just sinks into the back. So right as that happens, you watch this piece of candy go up, and you can just see it just hit him right on the forehead, and he breaks off and falls into the depth. Whole theater busted out laughing because the timing on it was perfect. Yeah, that's my favorite Titanic story of the one time I went and saw it in theaters.
Comedic.
I thought
my favorite Titanic story would have to be watching the CinemaSins commentary on YouTube, and that's about it, because I don't have any intention of ever watching that movie.
Do you watch a lot of the CinemaSins, Big D?
Quite a few. I was on a binge for that for a while. So the ones that jump out were Die Hard, The Abomination, that was the Super Mario Brothers movie with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. I have watched all the Star Trek 1-6. They were pretty awesome. Ghostbusters. I had to start rattling off a whole bunch of movies. Suffice to say, I've seen quite a few.
I've watched quite a few
Twilight
as well, but I kind of
Gosh.
I've watched quite a few as well, but I've kind of gotten a little tired of it because it seems like they get really nitpicky about things and send things just because they think it's comedic and not really because it's a bad thing. It stopped being interesting to me, but I've watched a bunch as well.
What are your thoughts on riff tracks?
I haven't really spent a lot of time with that. I was really like I only got into CinemaSins because it was a way to watch a movie without really watching it. So some of those things where I was like, I don't know that I really want to see this or I'm ever going to see it. It's kind of a way to get what was the story or the movie about. Kind of like what you did with Titanic, But I don't tend to watch a lot of that sort of stuff.
I would personally recommend drop the few bucks or whatever it would be to get the Twilight Saga riff tracks, because the worse the movie, the better the riff tracks. And holy crap, Twilight's at that bar high for crap movie.
Would it know, Big D? I've never seen it.
The only way I have watched Twilight Saga is with riff tracks. Otherwise, no, never.
I like how he's walking back, like his level of interaction with it. Like, oh, you guys haven't seen it. Like, oh, no, I didn't actually watch it. Like, I'm saying the cookie gnomes were there, and they made me watch it. Like, it was no. It was just their track laughing at the movie. No, I didn't actually watch it. I was never there.
First of all, piss off. Second of all, I said I have watched them, but only with the riff tracks because hilarious. Third, piss off.
Fourth, just wait till he gets his Team Edwards tattoo.
Oh my gosh, I thought he was team. Who's the other one?
I think it's Jacob.
I don't remember. It's not worth remembering.
He doesn't remember because he watched the riff track. Oh my gosh, I'm so like a vampire. I need some glitter.
I mean, I only know about like the Team Edward thing because I taught at an all-girl therapeutic boarding school when the books were coming out. And so that was a big deal, was a number of times I had to listen to students talk about Twilight.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What I should talk about is something better, and that is last week's South Park. Now, Howard, I know that you're not up on South Park in the past like decade. It's fine. We'll get you there. Big D, are you still avid? It's been a while, I know, for you too, but have you caught any of it? Have you been keeping track of South Park?
Nope. I've never watched it habitually. I just never got into it.
Okay.
It is kind of scary to think that
it's hilarious, and obviously making fun of celebrities and being like the parody of society and not caring because everybody else, you know, they're like, oh no, we can't make fun of that. South Park's like, yeah, absolutely. So first, couple seasons ago already, they had Macho Man enter the strong woman competition. Yes.
What the frick?
So Macho Man's getting interviewed, and thanks, Tom. I'm standing here with strong, or what the hell? I forget his name now. Because he wasn't, you know, Macho Man, right? He was a different name. Anyway, I'm standing here at the strong woman competition as a new competitor enters. Ooh, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, it's great. And the whole bit, just hilarious. Listen here, Dingleberry. David Perry. I'm not here to talk about my transition. I'm here to kick some ass. So, it's great. And he takes on Strong Woman, who is PC Principal's girlfriend, who they had kids together, and those are the PC babies. Because the politically correct baby. It's hilarious. So fast forward to the current season and last week's episode, which is now, of course, 3 weeks old as you're watching or listening to this episode. They bring in the Prince and Meghan Markle. Prince William and Meghan Markle, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, again, a couple years ago, if you remember the big royal wedding, South Park parodied that as the Canadian royal wedding. But it's going to happen, okay, as is tradition. Hilarious. Yes. So now they brought in how the Queen has died.
Oh, no.
And Ike, obviously Ike, he's not American, but he's a baby. And he's sitting watching the computer. Well, first they show the procession for the funeral, and it's like a top-down kind of view. All the guards are wearing these big maple leaf kind of royal uniforms, holding the casket and vats of maple syrup, like little containers of maple syrup. And they're holding her, bringing down the aisle, and the casket is open on the top, and the Queen's in there like all dead, right? Hilarious. Then it pans, you know, the Queen is dead, the Queen has passed. It's a terrible day for Canada. This is absolutely horrible. And it cuts to Ike watching the computer, and he's like, the Queen is dead. Kyle comes in like, Ike, why are you still watching this? You've been stuck on this for 6 months. Shut up, Kyle. You know, and then it goes on from there, bringing in the prince and the princess. Because they demand privacy. I demand my privacy. And they go on a world tour. telling everyone how they demand privacy and we want privacy. And they end up moving in across the street from Kyle. Because I think we've finally found a town where we can finally have a little bit of privacy. So it gets better from there. Even almost the entire 24 minutes of content, I was laughing. It was one of the better episodes that has aired in the past decade of South Park. So I invite you to look at it. I believe it's still on South Park Studios or HBO Max. If you choose to peruse, go check it out. It's very, very good. And of course, as I shared last week or the week before, the China problem episode where they're discussing Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. And Cartman thinks China is going to invade because of the Beijing Olympics. He's having nightmares about it. So they go to try and find the secret Chinese invasion plan at a P.F. Chang's. See, you're laughing at it. Like, this is hilarious. Any general thoughts on just the premise of all of that? But a guy.
There's
The absurdity seems to know no bounds.
It's pretty good.
There's even some talk and rumor about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle thinking about suing Trey Parker and Matt Stone over that episode. Actually, I heard.
Go for it, because then it'll just prove how vain both of them are. I demand my privacy. You invaded my privacy by talking about me in a parody sort of way, guy. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's the problem with being a celebrity.
I won't ruin any of the other moments within that episode, because I really hope that both of you are able to pull it up on the line and take a look at it. It's only 24 minutes of your time, so it's definitely worth the wait. All week we've been laughing at it at work. Other things that I've been watching. Big D, you'll be happy to know Star Trek Picard Season 3 is officially out. Last Thursday was the debut, the season premiere. Last night, the second episode. And I do have to say, the last two seasons had a lot of ups and downs for me as a Star Trek fan. So far in these two episodes, I'm at about 90% all in. About 90% there. I'm like shedding a tear, just, emotional almost. It's getting me in the Trek feels, right in the comm badge. I don't want to spoil it for you. Did you mute yourself? Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2.
He seemingly has a mic problem. It's all that bling. It's affecting his signal.
He shouldn't have been getting those diamond earrings and bracelets and everything. Putting them in places in the Big D Business Center that they don't belong. It's interfering with his high-speed Wi-Fi. At least he heard it, and he wants to make a comment. But now, he's seemingly going to turn back time because he's frozen.
Or share. Well, Kidder, while the Star Trek conversation is on pause, I mentioned back on our Elimination Chamber special that I've been watching a classic anime called One Piece, and enjoying that. I know you're not an anime fan, but it's kind of an interesting one. It's an alternative world, so it's not our world, in which the king of the pirates was executed, but he left behind his great treasure called the One Piece, and whoever finds it will become the new king of the pirates. And it kicks off this age of pirates and people forming crews and going to the dangerous place called the Grand Line to try and get it. And this story follows a captain by the name of Luffy D. Monkey, who it's kind of him building his crew and going after the One Piece. Good mix of like action and comedy and such. So I'm 177 episodes in. So, and only in like season 7. It's I got a lot to go. It's actually based on a manga that is the longest running manga in history. Like, it's still going. The guy's still writing it. So, although I think he's supposed to finish in the next, sometime before 2030, he's supposed to wrap up this story. So it's interesting. But yeah, that's what I've been watching, just as something kind of light and easy to digest in the evenings while I'm relaxing. It's got a pretty good soundtrack to it. And the one theme from it was like a total earworm that was stuck in my head for a long time. But it looks like Big D may have returned, although also looks like he's trying out for Frozen 3. So it's okay, Big D.
Just let it go. Just let it go.
Kidder beat me to the joke. I was going to kick it back over to Big D so that he could, join in and you guys could talk Picard. And I will say, Kidder, I did see that you were watching the premiere of Picard, and I was so tempted to send you a photo of that Star Trek alphabet book to go, reading this in honor of Kidder, who is enjoying Picard. And Big D is gone again.
What you really should do is turn it off and turn it back on.
Is this the beer you drank tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Guava, pear, green tea, ginger, North Dakota plum, cran apple. Wow. Well,
that was actually what the missus had, the sampler. Sour sampler, basically. You do, the flight of all of them over there, but she went with
your missus or his missus? Oh,
mine. Mm-hmm.
Didn't know she was such a fan of the sours.
Tonight she was for a while, and then not.
Did a couple of them not agree with her?
I mean, no, it was just kind of a lot of sour all at once.
I could see that. I could see that. Sours are like, I enjoy a good sour, but like I don't know that I could do like a whole flight of them. I think I would get kind of tired of the sour taste and would need a palate cleanser.
Mm-hmm. Disappointed that Big D took off because I wanted to mention stuff to him.
Wait, he's back! Quick, Big D, thoughts on
Picard? Thoughts on Picard, like the series or the character?
The series. Kidder left off like with his thoughts on it, kind of threw it to you. You disappeared. We've been stalling ever since then.
Oh, yeah, I haven't watched Picard.
Does it make you feel better about possibly watching it with my reaction to the start of season 3?
Oh, I'm intrigued as all hell to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to doing it.
You, sir, need 22 hours of time.
Yeah, I got a 4-year-old. I'll get right on that.
Hey, I mean, it's mostly okay for kids.
So I've legitimately been thinking. So on our, got a smart TV, which doesn't have any local station hookup, but what it does have on the watch free options is the Star Trek channel. And I'm thinking to myself, good grief, my son doesn't watch a whole lot of TV, and that's intentional. Mrs. D and I don't want him to watch a whole lot, and what he does watch is largely like Little Bear, Daniel Tiger, typical 4-year-old stuff. But was watching when he's off doing something, playing or something last week. I just Star Trek channel on for like 15 minutes, and I'm thinking, good grief! I remember watching when the episode was new, the conspiracy episode from TNG season 1, and LaForge getting thrown through those doors. I remember watching Star Trek and I was that young. Why has my son not watched any yet? And then it made me question my suitability to be his father.
Yeah, that needs to change. Make it so.
I get you. We don't tend to let Junior watch a ton of TV, and so like he hasn't seen Star Wars, which is so funny because he's like head over heels for Grogu, which if you're not a Star Wars fan, Baby Yoda. He is just enamored with that character, and will point him out wherever he sees him. But he's never seen any of Star Wars or anything like that. But he knows the characters. So, although he's been making me read, I should say, that stupid alphabet Star Trek book.
Oh, the one from way back when, where you had that guessing game.
I've had to read that almost nightly for like the past 2 weeks.
Good. He might actually learn something.
It's not his favorite, but it is one of those things where like one of the problems with that book, and I didn't show the artwork from it, but there are like a lot of like clearly named characters who I know and I can tell them who they are. But there's a lot of times where they just like, oh, here's a background. I'm just going to draw some red shirt guy. And he is so into these books because he's got a bunch of these. They're the golden books is the kind of the line, and he's got some like one for Doctor Strange and one for He-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But he keeps like pointing to these random nobody characters in the background and going, who's this? So it's like one thing, like on one page, it's like it's T is for transporter. And it's like, he can sit there and he can actually go Spock, Kirk, Bones, he can name them. But then it gets to like N, which is for number 1. And he's got, Riker and Data, but those are the only named characters in there. There's people in the background. He goes, Dad, who Dad? Who Dad? It's nobody, son. It's just a background character. Who's that? Don't know what to tell you. It's a nobody. He does the same thing with me with the He-Man book, and I struggle because I never watched He-Man, so I don't know any of the characters. He wants to know the names of all of them, and I'm like, I don't know, buddy. I don't know who any of these people are. I did pretty well with Doctor Strange. I got most of those characters down. But anyway, you guys were talking Star Trek. Oh, well, go back to gluing my models together.
So long as it's not gluing your fingers together.
So far, so good. But we'll see. The night is still young, and this is a pretty heavy beer. So we there's opportunities, gentlemen. There are opportunities.
Might get glued to your hand. You might actually be able to drink it quicker then. Just stuck. What do I do with my hand? So, Big D. Yeah, I know you're a big fan of Next Generation. I think you will really enjoy season 3 for sure. At least the first 2 episodes thus far. I do have to say there's predictability in some of it. I called it right away. Maybe that's just my nerdiness. I'm also sitting there pointing out Easter eggs of everything in each of the episodes. There it is. Look, it's the thing. So you would get a kick out of it, I think. And they really bring in Deep Space Nine and Voyager elements to Picard. And I'm really hoping that there's some kind of an offshoot to keep other elements going as a new series. Because Patrick Stewart, he's not exactly a spring chicken anymore, and really hoping that other pieces of the series can keep going in different directions as true Trek fashion. Does that make you more excited to see him?
It does, but I also admit that with kind of the pineapple in my system, my thoughts were more tangential. I started thinking about how the first red shirt was actually a blue shirt in both the original series and in the Kelvin reboot.
Yep.
Made me giggle.
People die. Things happen. Characters move on.
Which, if you ask Kidder, is a bad thing. There's a whole debate about this. Go back a few episodes. Future Howard put the episode number right up there for you, which was funny.
Future Howard, put it up there. Let me look. And there we go. Cool. Thanks. I'll look at it.
It was good. It was kind of funny because when Future Howard put in the thing about the debate in the show notes, the local geek read it, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" So I put it in the notes as like killing off characters, and he thought we were going to kill off characters like in episode 100. So he's like, "What do I have to do to ensure my survival?"
Supplies of beer helps.
I think just the fact that he keeps up the spreadsheet is enough. He's safe.
Mm-hmm.
He starts slacking on that,
Season finale's coming.
I'm going to be your international traveler, so you can't get rid of me.
If he dies, he dies.
I don't know. I mean, we have also, Mr. Foot. He's been doing some international traveling.
Where's he been? I haven't talked to him in a minute.
Oh,
he's only been on our show once.
He has been
that important. He's busy.
Yeah, he's flying for UPS, I believe, but he is doing worldwide travel. And I'll tell you, Big D, if you need more content, when you're done watching the Triple B, and all of our episodes, he actually started his own YouTube channel this summer, and it's kind of his own like food show as he travels. So as he's going to all these countries, he's eating kind of local cuisine, and he talks about it. He does a really nice job with it. It's pretty good. I've fallen behind on the episodes, but I've watched a good chunk of them. So,
yeah, Mrs. D and I were talking about doing that, or never mind. We were talking about doing some more like scrapbooking, Yelp review, Google review thing for all the places we've eaten. Haven't done the YouTube channel, or haven't even thought about it, but no, that's awesome. I can look that up.
Yeah, if you go back to the episode that he's on, it's in the show notes, his channel. And if you give Current Howard just a wee bit, because it's the name that he chose, unfortunately, for his channel, it's a little there's a couple others. No, there's just a couple other people that are like really close in title. So like, because he's a flying foodie, but there is a flying foodie, and so there's just enough where it makes it a little difficult.
Gotcha.
I should have known this title, Kidder. I'm kicking myself. It's episode 74, entitled "Beware the Corn Puns." I should have remembered the corn puns.
Yeah, there are lots of nougats in there, kernels of information.
Yeah. Needless to say, it's a pretty good episode, Big D. If you haven't seen that one, you go back, because there literally are corn puns and some corn pun failures. Yeah, it's a good one. But yeah, no, he's been on the show. He's a little bit harder to get on the show because he travels so much. I'm hoping he comes back on the show again, because it was a good time. We had a good time with him when he was on. Hey, Kidder.
Yeah.
Want to hear about a scam?
I mean, what better scam than going to beerbluesbs.com and buying us a beer? Oh, wait, that's not the thing. Yeah. What's the scam?
All right, I got to pull this up. This is a Facebook scam. Oh, Big D, what's your question?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that makes good common sense. The whole buy a beer on beerbluesandbs.com.
You know, we had a pretty good run of people buying this beer, and then it kind of dried up. It's
a recession.
That is true. But you know what? We have not adjusted our thing on that for inflation. It's still the cheapest beer on the internet. Anyway, let's share my screen here. And hopefully not break Big D's internet.
No, breaking the internet is when I try to do anything on my end, like looking at pulling up another page on the browser.
Yeah.
Another page in his browser. I didn't know that.
No, I was trying to pull up some. I was trying to pull up some because the reference to maple leaf military uniforms, that's a thing. And I was going to pull up the page for it.
Okay, so gentlemen, as you can see here, this is a Facebook scam. And you may have seen this. What happens is some poster posts this picture, and you can see its description. It looks like it's an apartment for rent, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, $750 a month. Some other details. Looks like a pretty nice place, doesn't it?
I mean, I'm looking at the notes down there about when it's about the date, but that's the one thing that tips me off about it. What's that square footage? 160 square feet? Screw that noise.
Yeah. But it looks like a fairly nice place from the picture. Kidder, does that photo look familiar to you at all?
It sure does. And it's more than 150 square feet or 160 square feet.
Yeah, because that room is from a popular video game, Rainbow Six Siege.
I've spent many hours in that room.
So somebody had taken a screenshot from the video game and basically put it up as an apartment for rent, hoping that nobody would figure out that it's a non-existent apartment and that the picture is from a video game. Boy, you gotta love these Facebook scammers.
Can't blame them for trying, I guess. I mean, gotta make a buck somehow.
I'm just waiting for the day that they put up like DK's treehouse. That would be the place to rent.
It's kind of like the people standing at the various corners, like by the interstate and the mall and things, because they look homeless and they say they're homeless, but are they? And here's why. I go typically one route to work through the interstate, so then it's a little bit faster. I don't run through 28 stoplights. And there's different people standing at the same corner, asking for money and stuff. The sign is the same. They literally rotate people in and out. Oh, this person's got a dog that looks, a little dirty. Like, put them there for 2 hours and then you work a shift. And then they have some, lady come stand there for a while and she looks all rough. And then we'll switch somebody else out. This guy needs to go stand there for a while. The same. And it's not just one day of the same sign. I'm talking 3-4 weeks at a time. They rotate these people through. Don't even make it obvious. There's 4 of you within a block. Spread out. Don't use the same sign. But I mean, you don't have to pay income tax on that. You just get cash, gift cards, coffees. What a way to make a life, huh? Just go stand out 20 below weather for a while, get a little dirty. And then, you can make $500 to $800 a day because people feel sorry for you because how you look. And then you can buy your Cadillac that you've parked 3 blocks away. Just walk to that and go home.
It really is sad that people take advantage of other people's charity that way. Because, I'm not saying that everybody who's on the side of the road, panhandling is trying to scam people. But it's when you hear about things like that it makes it hard to, want to support anybody that you see.
And then they're all gone for a day or two. And then suddenly 2 to 4 of them are back in the same spot. And I'm like, really? And then they're like, oh, we've used that same sign for like 3 weeks. We should change it. So then they have a different sign. Or the other group that rotates in has a different sign. And you just like, come on. Just cut it out.
Don't do this.
Speaking of like breaking the law, Jeff Hardy back in the news.
What do you do now?
The Triple B brought it to you first, 2 weeks late, that he again was arrested for DUI. This was over the summer. He was very drunk, very messed up, did not have a license at the time, was arrested in Florida for, again, driving under the influence. In fact, it was in June. So this is a follow-up to our previous breaking news. So he was arrested. 1 count of driving on a suspended license. 1 count driving while his license was restricted. And 1 count of DUI, driving under the influence. Charges were brought to a Floridian court, and after months of deliberation, a sentence has been decided. And we here at the Triple B, we're on the internet to bring it to you. The Volusia County Court has sentenced Jeff Hardy to 38 days in county jail with 38 days credit for time served. So he was in jail for 38 days after his arrest and then was released on bond, and they issued him credit for time served. He also has to pay $4,586 in fines and court fees. He is on probation for another 2 years. He has a 10-year suspension of his driving privileges. 2 years, he must have an interlock device installed in his car where he picks up the tube and has to blow into it to ensure that the vehicle will start because it blows zeros for alcohol, which, of course, he can't drive for 10 years legally. So there's that. His vehicle will also be impounded for 90 days. And he has court-mandated DUI, school and drug rehab, and on top of all of that, community service. That was earlier this week as the Triple B did the investigative reporting on the internet. Did I say something? It broke the internet? Did I break Howard at Big D? Did I stop at a Big D business center? What happened here? What? I didn't stay at Holiday Inn Express last night.
It was just the fact that you made it sound like we actually have investigative reporters. Yeah.
We don't?
Yeah, but no, we have you, me, and a murder bird and a slew of guests, but no investigative reporters.
Who says the bird isn't on the hot trail? He's out there with like a fedora with a press thing in the side of the cap, smoking a cigar.
I mean, I'm hot on the trail here, investigating things like Jeff Hardy.
It's probably how he gets close to his targets.
I mean, I used to be an inspector, but considering this is the first I've heard of that, how good was I?
Listen, watching Inspector Gadget doesn't make you an inspector. I'm sorry to break the news to you, Big D.
Inspector General, sir. Piss off.
Go Gadget brain. Oh. I got him. I broke Big D. He's going to have to visit the business center.
Go get some Rogaine, you bastard.
No, that's expensive. I'd rather get haircuts at that rate. Go and get my head, the insert manly haircut center business name here. Go get the hot towel treatment and a nice close shave and everything. So anyway, as the Triple B investigative reporters, as we scoured the internet,
Jeff Hardy's attorney filed a motion to axe the breath test results from the initial arrest due to the belief that it was unreliable. The attorneys claimed that the breathalyzer used on Jeff was not inspected by the Florida Highway Patrol the previous month, apparently a violation of law that mandates breathalyzers be inspected by an agency inspector at least once each calendar month.
Ooh, technicality. I like it.
Jeff's brother Matt Hardy took to social media to praise him for the personal journey that he's gone through over the past year. Matt said, quote, "Incredibly proud of my brother. For the last 9 months, he's worked extraordinarily hard on himself. He's in the best space I've seen him for decades. I'll always support him, believe in him, and love him. I'm excited for you and your new lease on life and where it takes you." I didn't know Matt Hardy joined us for a minute there. That was interesting. "It's currently unclear if Jeff will return to All Elite Wrestling or professional wrestling at all." Shortly after his arrest, AEW President Tony Khan released a statement saying that Jeff could only come back to the company if he completed treatment and maintained sobriety. There you go. That's Triple B investigative reporting.
Done in the manner of an Australian reporter trying to fake a New York accent.
I was thinking Matlock, but yeah. That's about the same.
Well, in other news, gents,
Controversy?
I have finished my last bottle of Loctite super glue for putting models together.
Because it's stuck to your hand?
No, it's empty. So I'm switching it up here. I'm trying a new brand that I haven't tried. I'm switching over to Gorilla Glue.
Hey, they don't sponsor us. Get that crap off the screen.
Which has like a 10-second dry time, Kidder. And I just want to put this out here. I haven't had a lot to eat because I've been watching the kids today, and this Bombastic Brewing's Shiver Coffee Stout is definitely having an effect. So place your bets now for how long before Howard glues his fingers together.
Well, at least 10 seconds.
Open this bad boy up. So there you go.
It practically writes itself. Come on.
Howard is living dangerously here, playing with super glue that they say you only need 1 drop per square inch. Super glue, models, and drinking. Kids, don't do this.
What could go wrong?
I was about to say, kids, don't do this at home without adult supervision. I'm a professional.
And speaking of the danger zone that Howard apparently is living in, we do have to say a rest in peace to Top Gun composer Tom Whitlock, who has passed away at the age of 68. Why are you laughing? He's just dead, man.
Just that transition, okay? Like, I'm sitting here cracking jokes about how I'm more than likely going to end up gluing 2 fingers to each other, and you transition into a rest in peace for the composer of Top Gun. I mean, it just, like...
Listen here, Howard Blues. I'm not here to talk about my transitions. I'm just here to kick some podcast ass.
Listen, it was a good transition. It just struck me as funny, okay? You know, you caught me, okay?
This just in. Howard Blues thinks death is hilarious. Talk about my investigative report, and we got to do some investigating on that guy.
Well, I mean, listen, Howard Blues lives in constant peer protection. I mean, listen, I got a murder bird. I put together models while highly intoxicated. Let's not question what I find funny right now. Like,
you ever actually finished any of those?
What, models?
Models, beers, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, look, this box here used to be full.
Is that stuck to your hand?
No. I haven't actually opened the glue because you broke me with the transition. I was laughing too hard that I'm like, I'm not going to, try to glue something while laughing, while intoxicated. That's one step too many, man. Let's back up the crazy bus just a little bit.
This is dangerous. Hold the phone.
Yeah. So, no, I have finished stuff. I actually have a whole card table in the cave proper that is filled with everything I've completed. So, so far tonight, I've gotten a little rock guy done. He's kind of cute. And this T-Rex paladin put together. So he's kind of interesting, although he's a paladin, which kind of sucks because, paladins are dicks. But I'm working on a translucent dragon. I just need to put the wings on. And I got some catapults in the works. They just need wheels. I'm making progress. Stuff's happening. And
So I get that.
most of the beer. I was going to say, I'm almost done with most of the beer. So
I was going to say, like, I can kind of tell how big those are based on the size of your hand and how big they are when you're holding them. But what are you gluing to what? Because they're so freaking small.
well, and these are the big guys. The stuff that I have mostly been gluing to my hand are the small figures. I mean, here's like the basic human figure.
Okay,
And,
but in all of that, what are you gluing to what? It looks like it comes out of a friggin' D&D game set as a whole piece.
yeah, I mean, this isn't a great example because there's not like pieces to that. But for instance, if I grab this guy here, Big D, so here he's got an arm that's glued on with the sword. He's also got his shield arm is glued on.
Okay.
So that's an example. With some of these, a lot of times it's arms because of the molding process, wherever there would be what's called an undercut. So, for instance, on Mr. Paladin, because he's kind of big enough, with his shield, if you see here, it would be really hard to make the mold to kind of have this shield in, just because of how it goes. You would have too much product there. You'd have to try and get the plastic in and then up and then to spread out. So they cast the shield and his hand as one piece because they can do that. And then they cast his body as one piece, his head as a piece, and his other sword arm as a piece, and then the base. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces altogether. That's that. Some of them, the monk that I had earlier, who I have now set down and have lost on my table. He was here. The monk
put
that
your glasses on.
I did. They're here. I've been intoxicated and I've set him somewhere, and he's a monk.
Sniffing glue.
So he's gone. Because monks will. Oh, there he is. God, that was a weird spot. If you notice, like if I turn him that way, you see that he's kind of all one thin line. So they're able to kind of just cast him with one half of the mold here, one half of the mold on that side. Makes it easier. It's when you get into the more interesting 3D sculpts that you end up with more pieces that you have to glue on.
Okay.
So a lot of them are pretty small, but I have some things here that are like this is a giant spider that's got quite a bit of legs and such. I'm not looking forward to. This was the Cthulhu monster for this set, which I forget which one they did. But I mean, it's just a bag of tentacles and mouths and eyeballs, and this is just a whole bag of nightmares right here. That'll be fun. Glad I could talk. This is almost like a Howard's Cave of Wonder episode. Get to rename that.
But I'm still here.
Hey, welcome to Howard's Cave of Wonder.
All right. Well, see you later. Like my radio days, we would say, all right, well, get the hell out of here.
Okay, well, I'll do that and go to my makeshift fridge, which is my cement floor in my project room. I'll be right back.
Oh. Okay, well.
Oh, you said something. I was going to laugh because he walked away and we could have watched him and it could have been content and we could have put some like cartoon music underneath it. Or maybe like cheap mono crap jazz music that you would hear out of a blown out speaker in an elevator, kind of like in Big D's Business Center.
Here, I was gonna say, Kidder, what we need to do is like the halftime report for the show. You know, like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the halfway point of the episode here. Kidder, how's it going down on the sidelines there?
Well, Howard, thanks. We have drinks happening down here. Clearly, there's another beverage that needs to be consumed. I'm standing here with this mostly drank glass of whiskey. I could clearly use another because I'm not as drunk as you. I'm waiting to work on figures myself, but I don't have any glue. Big D appears to have returned. I'm not sure what the business center has to offer. However, let's see what he has to say. Big D, back to you.
What was the ABV on that whiskey there? Because it doesn't seem so much as a number as it seems like an exclamation point, an asterisk, and an ampersand.
I'm just surprised that you think that he's the intoxicated one. I think he's more sober than I am at this point.
And that's saying something on this show, because how many times have I had more than two? Enough. By the way, it's 45.75% alcohol by volume. It is a 91.5 proof 6-year Templeton rye. The good stuff.
I would love to see you on absinthe.
No, that tastes like garbage. Stupid black licorice. Get that crap out of here. Plus,
going away
American absinthe is an actual absinthe.
My going away dinner in Germany many moons ago, my coworkers kind of duped me into taking a shot of absinthe. But then they were, in typical munitions systems ammo tactics, they were being total assholes about it and trying to get inside my head and say, "You're going to start hallucinating now." I'm like, oh, sure. But nothing happened. Oh, look,
I haven't tried absinthe. I would try it once.
In hindsight, I don't recall it being really. It's just another beverage. I think any of the urban legend hallucinogenic stuff. I don't know how based in reality it is today. I'm sure it was at some point, but not so much today. As far as I'm aware. Let's see here.
If you want to learn about that, Local Geek has actually had absinthe on the show, and we actually talked about the
history of absinthe.
Yeah,
and not Absinthe the musical, which you can see in Las Vegas.
Wait! Is Kidder promoting a musical?
I've actually never seen it. There's
but you're promoting a musical.
They're never going to see this, and I mean, not like we'd get kickbacks anyway.
Listen, you have problems with me showing the bottle of super glue that I'm using because there's not a sponsor, but you're promoting some musical in Las Vegas.
Everybody skipped over this section because I wasn't holding something up to the screen. It's just not there. So everybody just skips over. It's glazed over. Never happened.
That's okay, because I was thinking of you, Kidder, when I picked this up. It's a new everything I'm about to try on the What's on Tap round 2. It's the Founders 4 Giants and the Haze of Destiny Imperial Hazy IPA, just for you. 19.2 fluid ounces, and where'd it go? 8.4% ABV. The back side of the can is just yep. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Somehow Puerto Rico's involved. Drink responsibly. They don't serve Founders in the clink. It's actually they're not wrong. So cool. All right, so smells like Kidder's hatred.
Sweet, and
it tastes like Kidder's hatred.
Oh, so nice. So like a warm sensation. I guess it's good that we don't have one anymore.
Actually, It's not the best IPA I've ever had. It's still decent. I give it 2.5, but I don't know that I would buy this one again. Shut up, Kidder.
Kidder, I just now want somebody with some actual time and creativity to go out and film like one of those like cologne ads, but now for like Kidder's hatred.
You know, all I need is a guitar and a desert.
I got a guitar over there.
I don't know.
There's a desert south of town.
You know, I think we're onto something here. Brought to you by Big D's Business Center. Kidder's hatred. Get your 8-ounce collection at any Big D's Business Center. 3 spritz might give you the Schlitz. I'm sorry. Had I prepared and been an actual broadcast professional for this show, I could have done that with a straight face. Maybe for the actual commercial, we'll do something better.
Speaking of terrible products, you know, because we can. Kidder, once again, Amazon has served up a truly terrible product.
The Big D Boudet?
No, but it's close. Kidder, what this product is it's a oh, he's gonna leave. We can't do this now because we need his reaction.
Maybe he needs the bidet. He did kind of run off to the business center.
My guess is that little D woke up. So Kidder, put a pause. Everybody put this on pause. We're going to hold off. What is this terrible product that Howard is speaking of? We'll come back to it. We will come back to it. This is now a tease. It wasn't meant to be a tease. This was finally a Howard well-executed transition that
Big D screwed up. We can't have anything nice on this show. No wonder nobody watches.
Well, you know, it just goes back. Like I've kind of learned that I'm a bit cursed that anytime I make like a really nice transition, like something happens to like stomp on it, you know. And here I was set up. I was getting ready to talk about this. It's going to be a great reaction. People will enjoy it, and he bolts. Hey, here's a good one, Kidder. This will get a chuckle out of you.
We got something. Okay.
I was listening to sports radio.
Oh man,
because I do sometimes, and they were talking about the Minnesota Wild, and they were talking about their best player, Kaprizov, and apparently the one commentator had got a bit of hate mail because their star player scored his 100th goal, and this commentator had just kept going, well, it's no big deal. So the Wild fans were like, what do you mean it's not a big deal? He scored his 100th goal. And commentator's like, well, it's just a 100th goal. It's nothing special. And telling my Kidder's reaction to this, that was not as interesting as I thought it was.
It's the Minnesota Wild.
Well, you know,
like, the 100th goal. Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, where do you stand on all that? All of the like milestones with like goals and points and games played.
I like it. In fact, 6 days ago, with this record, Mikko Rantanen scored his 200th career goal. So good job to the Moose being on the loose for another goal. Tonight, Arturi Lehkonen scored his 100th career goal. So good job for Arturi Lehkonen against the Winnipeg Jets. Big happy. Happy time. And speaking of happy time, we're a few days late, but happy birthday to Devon Taves. It's his birthday just a few days ago. Love it that the Avalanche are doing the thing. And so I personally enjoy hearing those stats from the teams I like. I don't care about anybody else. I don't care about their team. Now, the only exception to that is that I will occasionally be like, oh, for former Fighting Sioux players. Oh, they played their 300th NHL game. Sweet, they're still playing. They're still doing something. But otherwise, I don't care.
Kidder, I heard...
Disappointed?
No. It's fine. Do what you want to, man. Do what you want to.
I do what I want, my body.
Sure. Yeah, go for it. Anyway, I actually heard somebody, a commentator, make the comment that our Colorado Avs seem to be playing playoff level hockey right now. And I was going to ask, one, what do you think about that? Two, seems a little early for us to be hitting that playoff level. Kind of a little worried that we might overdo it and be in trouble come the actual playoffs. Your thoughts?
Well, a couple things is a couple of the key players yet are out and are trying to rehabilitate, get healthy, hopefully right before the playoffs. Now, how the Avalanche have been playing in the past couple weeks has been mostly good. In fact, I think they've now won 7 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. So very excited about that. Happy about that. The reason they're making a bigger push is because, yes, they have to play playoff and championship hockey. They have to prove that they're good enough and better than the other teams, right? But on top of it, they're also floating around that wild card slot at the bottom of the entry to the playoffs. So you need to win games to have enough points to make it into the playoffs, have that position secured. So it doesn't matter if we, the Avalanche, I'm not on the team. The Avalanche get that playoff position secured. Then they can really continue pushing it, go for the cup, do their best in the playoffs, and then actually have some, great hockey. But it doesn't just turn on and off. There have been a lot of games this year where you can tell the Avalanche were last year's Stanley Cup champion, creaming the other team. Fantastic to watch, like tonight's game versus the Winnipeg Jets. 5-1 victory. Love seeing that, right? Other games, not so good. But when a good half the team is out because of injury, a majority of the people rotating through the ice are the minor league players. So it's the Boston Bruins versus the Colorado Eagles. Let's be honest. It's the minor league team. So are they going to lose and not do well? Yep. That's just the nature of the beast. It happens. Now people have been getting healthy, been coming back. Things are able to be put in place where, yes, the Avalanche are able to get there, to get going, score some goals, work as a team, become the championship group that they really are, and hopefully push through and win 2 in a row. Because how awesome would that be, Howard?
I mean, it'd be pretty good. It's a long shot. And not to say that I don't want it to happen, but back-to-back championship runs for the Stanley Cup, not the easiest feat. Just being honest. It's
extremely difficult.
It's like winning the Super Bowl. How often do you see back-to-back wins of the Super Bowl? Not often. It's an extremely hard feat. So
almost never, because I don't like watching that crap.
No, I'm just saying, just as an example, to win it all, it's not the easiest thing in the world. So, but Kidder, I see
3 of the best. Since you mentioned the Super Bowl, I just want to mention 3 of the best Super Bowls that seen, and it's not because of the game specific. Number 1, the Super Bowl that we watched in, I think it was 2015, where we were at B-Dubs And that was the Katy Perry and the Sharks halftime. That was funny. Number 2, group of friends watching at an apartment in Grand Forks, not caring about the game, but just watching the commercials and laughing and making fun of them. And number 3 would be when we were all watching in the residence hall. We had it up on the projector, and it was Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson, and suddenly there's a 4-foot nipple on the screen. And I don't know, 40 of us who were down there watching were like, wait a minute. That's not right. Where's the DVR? Let's back it up. It was 2004. We didn't have DVR then. I'm glad Big D is back. And laughed at that.
Big D being back. I can get back to this. Hey, we teased it. What is this terrible product that Amazon is recommending to Howard? Because that happens far too often. Gentlemen, what I will tell you that this is a product kind of like a slime or an ooze, but it's or like a Play-Doh. It's kind of one of those type of products, things that you kind of take and squish and all of that. But it is green with dark green specks, made to look like a pickle, and it has a terrible name.
Okay.
I was wondering if it was going to be kind of along that line.
Yeah, for our audio listeners, all like 10 of you, this product is called...
He's going to say it.
Dildo. Yeah. So,
and just for the audio listeners, we're talking about dough, D-O-U-G-H, like the cookie dough. Dill dough,
like the herb.
Whoa!
Yeah,
it's like
a herb
on words.
What a Brit!
Yeah,
it's such a long joke.
I said herb because there's H in it. You know. Yeah.
Thanks, Eddie.
You're welcome.
What are you putting pH in it?
Kidder's never been an Eddie Izzard fan, so there we go. But yeah, there, another terrible product that Amazon wants me to buy or thinks I need to buy.
Good in Inglourious Bastards.
He's good in a lot of things, actually. Eddie Izzard, highly underrated in his acting skills, and he hasn't done much lately. I think he's got a great Star Trek bit, though.
Yes, Star Trek and Star Wars. And Risk. Do you have a flag?
Yeah. I haven't watched Eddie Izzard in a long time. I don't watch a lot of comedians these days. I don't see a lot of them that are really all that great.
That's why he doesn't watch this show.
What do you mean I don't watch this show? I edit this show. I also live this show.
He's talking about Eddie Izzard doesn't watch the show or something.
No, Howard. He doesn't actually watch it. I know how editing goes. Man, this is about when this happened, and that's fine. Let's move over. Yeah, yep, okay.
I actually thoroughly watch the show and try to.
Here we go.
Because I got to catch all the times that you guys swear on the show. So I got to clean all of that up, make sure I don't miss them. And yes, I do miss on occasion. That does happen. So I have to deal with that. I have to deal with all the awkward pauses that we get, especially because our shows we've been recording for longer and longer chunks of time. So it's like, hey, we got 2 hours and 45 minutes. I got to try and trim 45 minutes out of this thing to get it to at least a 2-hour mark because we struggle to get viewers already. I don't think we're going to get people to say, you know what? I need a podcast that's as long as watching the Fellowship of the Ring. Nobody's going to do that. So
the way I think of it is it takes about 2.5 hours to get to Fargo from here. So if we make about a 2 to 2.5 hour episode, that'll get you off to Fargo or back.
See, I kind of look at it as, 2 hours, you can listen to more episodes in that case. And if you listen to more episodes, then our number of episodes downloaded and such goes higher.
So if we cut these into 4 and released 4 episodes a week, now we're on to something there, yeah.
Yeah, I think this investigative thing is going to go great for us, Howard. We can really make something out of this.
I just want this dragon's wing to stay on.
Nice deflection. I see what you did there. That's part of my investigative skill set.
You're not going to let this thing go, are you?
Beer, Blues, and BS. The only podcast today to have investigative reporters to read the internet news.
So with that, think back to your days way back when, Kidder, when you were but a budding radio DJ with hair,
Yes.
and at a radio station up here in El Forco, and think to then versus now. Are you shocked at the fact that you're an investigative reporter now? Was that a then and now shocker for you? Then versus now, shocker for you?
Because Big D, I once stayed next to a Big D business center, and that made me an investigative reporter.
Considering I invented the Big D Center, I don't think that's something you want to be investigating.
I'm not investigating that. I just stayed next to one time.
After spicy taco dinner.
I heard there's lots of explosions that happen there, so try and stay away. It's like a war zone. But that makes me
I am a former munitions guy.
Reporter. Munitions, yeah.
I am.
Take out those mortars. So I was truly a reporter, an investigative, hard-hitting, breaking news investigative reporter before becoming the very likable, very entertaining, #1 rated per capita on-air talent. So it was really a here and there combination. It's like a bomb cyclone. Everything came together all at once to create the perfect storm.
I see what you did there.
I have not drunk enough for this conversation.
That's a lie. You're 3/4 in the bag, and you might be glued to it for all we know.
I did finish this thing, so that's gone.
Make a Big D laugh. So I mean, we're getting somewhere in life.
And that is true. That is true. He's he seems to be having some chuckles at this mission success.
I'm just a happy guy at the end of a stressful week. What can I say?
Bob Giggles is not on this show. He is busy at the moment. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's probably laughing.
Probably. Kidder, speaking of Bob Giggles, we put out, or at least I put out, the Sci-Fi or Howard from episode 94.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting terrible views, which is sad.
Views?
Yeah, it's just compared to our usual, a number of views that we get per episode. It's been a little rough.
Now, what makes the views terrible? Are they like side-eyed views? Are they awkward glance views? Are they disapproving views? What are we talking?
It's more of like a quantity thing, Kidder.
No views.
Maybe 10 people have watched it.
Big
one of our
D,
shortest videos on the channel, at 11 minutes. We've got maybe 10 views.
Which video are you talking about?
Sci-Fi or Howard? It was a bonus episode this week. You're in it, Big D.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I watched that, and I was thinking, I watched that, and I think it was rigged. I'm trying to pull it up.
Well,
It sounds like you need an investigative reporter to look into malfeasance of the contest.
Sounds like I'm down to Rise of the Cookie Gnome, and I've gotten nowhere, so piss off, by the way. Makes me look like a gnome. Assholes.
I mean, we don't
What the
really
hell
have
is a
to,
Colorado low, and you didn't have me on there for that, you bastards.
we don't really have to make you look like a gnome. It just kind of naturally occurs.
Big D.
You're up to 19 views, by the way. I'm looking at it right now. 19 views.
I'm also going to say you need to watch the What the Hell is a Colorado Low episode, because there is a joke made that you would appreciate. And all I'm learning now when you're like, oh, you didn't have me on, is that you haven't watched the episode yet. You would have
again, 4-year-old.
You would have approved. Yeah, but I know you've jumped to chapters before. Just jump to the chapter about what the hell is a Colorado Low.
And it's not like you sleep anyway. So, I mean, watch it now. You're not doing anything else important.
Here we go. Welcome to the Triple B watch along.
Yeah. I'll do that so that it shows up in my YouTube recently watched library, because I might not remember having done that right now. So
yeah, no, you'll watch it and you'll get a laugh and you'll appreciate. So,
chapter titles, huh?
Yeah, there's a chapter title. What the hell is the Colorado Low? Towards the end of the episode.
Okay. Cool. I'll cue that up, and when we're done recording here, I'll take a look see, and then I'll probably tell you both to piss off, because at whatever trolling event I'm sure is awaiting me.
I'll put it this way: you're not the one being trolled in that. You'll appreciate it. You'll actually be like, oh man, that's great. It's fantastic.
That's right, buddy. It's good to have a friend.
But check it out. I'm actually really happy with like that thumbnail. That was a good thumbnail. The Rise of the Cookie Gnome thumbnail, that's just hot garbage. I'll just say that right now. That was not my best work.
Big D's in it.
I still don't get the gnome, but
Oh, you don't remember?
I'm fully aware of the origin of your application of the gnome. I just don't get it.
No, it's the Cookie Gnomes, and the Cookie Gnomes gonna come get you.
I was going to say the Cookie Gnome thing is mostly a kidder thing.
Yeah,
And the funny
I really wish I could remember that photo being taken. I mean, based on my haircut, I can put the time as 2011 on that one brief stint of time I was up here between moving from Germany to Guam. And I remember I came up here on my birthday, and it was hockey weekend. And I'm driving up here thinking I should book a hotel. So I'm driving up doing the thing on my flip phone in 2011 saying, where am I going to stay? And it was hockey weekend. Of course, everything is, booked up in town. I'm like, Air Force Base. So I stayed out there. But that's the only reason my hair would have been, well, kind of like this, actually. Because prior to that, I actually let it grow longer. But I don't, for the life of me, remember that ice cream sandwich photo being taken. And don't you dare pull it up, you rat bastard. Not you, him.
You do know that, like, we now use, because you've seen it, but
yeah,
we use that photo all the time.
I know. It's for comedic content. Me pretending to be horribly offended and trolled by it. Well, okay, I'm trolled by it. Me pretending to be horribly offended by it.
I mean, there are far worse things we could do. I don't know how this miniature goes.
I'm not going to ask you to elaborate on it.
He already has plans. Don't worry.
Not actually at this point. No, I'm too intoxicated for plans, and I'm putting this model back in the bag because I'm too out of it to try and figure that one out. What else I got over here?
You just say the bag.
So
I don't know what it was, but if we're talking about photos, I remember there was I feel like it was a photo that someone took of you back in college, Howard, where you could have reasonably passed for Brian Mallon in his portrayal of General Hancock in Gettysburg. I don't know if that means anything to you, but at the time, 20 years ago, I just remember seeing that picture and thinking, Brian Mallon as Hancock. It was a side profile. I should clarify.
A side profile. I'm really curious which photo you're referring to.
Now I'm seeing all these photos of Kidder Howard 20 years ago on Kidder's phone. We were all so young then. I found a picture. Well, actually, no, I didn't find it. So I stopped a certain prior to his office today because I had a little extra time running around in town. So I stopped up there today, and he had a picture of me in my college internship. We had the green screens, goofy poses, whatever. And yeah, there's a picture of 21-year-old me. Yeah. I look so young. We all did back then, didn't we?
That was back when we knew something.
That was back when you thought I was a pothead, you son of a bitch.
It was a different time and a different place. Before I was an investigative reporter.
Yeah, that was my roommate. He was the pothead who failed his drug test. He is not a pilot today, and I am just fine with that. What you got there, Howard?
Really chunky spider, about the size of a tennis ball, this back thorax. Kidder, are you still looking for a photo? Is that what you're doing?
How about you take a break from looking at photos and take a look at my bling? It's not really bling, but it's on page 3 of the run sheet.
I looked at it.
Yeah, so that is an actual Velcro tab that I got for my uniform.
Do you actually wear it on your uniform, or do you just have the tag?
Rarely, because officially speaking, it is wildly unauthorized. But there is a kind of unwritten rule, I guess. Depends on the local unit on morale patches, if you will. So, yep, I took off my my standard one for my current job in weather and slapped that on at a going away lunch that we were having for a colleague this afternoon. You son of a bitch.
Hey, I have something to say. Ah!
Yep, definitely circa 2011.
That was
Simply because the side I never cut short. I tapered it, shortened it a little bit, but I never got it as short as that picture until, well, the Air Force shaved my head bald, but you know.
February 12th, 2011.
February 2011. Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah.
And that photo was actually taken
I thought it
at Culver's.
I thought it was later in the year. I thought it was like September, October timeframe. But actually, yeah, that would check. I did swing up there, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I swung up here during those 3 weeks.
We even had some beers at the apartment. It was good.
Yep.
Wunderbar.
Bunch of then and now shockers. All those pictures of us then versus now. I don't know why it's so shocking, but yeah, the biggest then versus now shocker that I've had recently, because I'm the a-hole that put that in the run sheet. So I was at a conference last week in Virginia, and any of the tens of viewers of this podcast, you might be thinking one day of going into the military in some way, shape, or form. My MTI, my military training instructor, Marines call them drill instructors, Army call them drill sergeants. I don't know what the frick the Navy calls them, but the people that are your introduction to the military, that speak with only one volume, and that is loud, that speak with only one measure of compassion, and that is none, where they pretty readily enact or instill Stockholm syndrome into you. They're real people. So they're just regular guys and ladies at the end of the day. So my MTI, my MTI is currently, he's about to retire, but he's currently at the same location in Virginia where I just was last week. And I shot him an email. We loosely kept in touch over the years, but I shot him an email like, hey, I'm going to be out there. Let's, you want to grab lunch? Like, sure. And it's been 14 years since I've seen the guy. And I spent the first 20 minutes of the lunch deconstructing the fact that the last time I knew him, his affectionate term for me was dumbass. But he had, we're just talking about how our careers had gone, what we've been doing. And then one of his colleagues calls him on the phone, and it was something that he had to take, but he answers it in a weird way. He says, what do you want, tingle pants? And it was so off the wall. I'm like, what the frick? And then once that call was done, yeah, I was like, yeah, I've been deconstructing for the past 20 minutes that you're an actual real guy. I think that just sold it. And he's like, yeah, I'm a real guy. 14 or 1630 rolls around. If you don't call me by my first name, I'm going to punch you in the head. Like, okay. Yeah. That was my then versus now shocker. It's just interesting to see the way that things change over the years. What do you guys got besides what we've chatted about already, sort of kind of loosely?
Well, let's see. As a then and now shocker, was really interesting. This was a couple of years ago, actually quite a few years ago. I went back to my hometown of Spearfish, South Dakota, and nothing like driving into that town and seeing what used to be the Walmart when you were growing up is now an aquatic park with water slides and a pool and what used to be the parking lot. Yeah, that's a weird one that'll mess with your mind.
Didn't we stop at that Walmart?
Yeah. More than likely.
Time for another trip down to the Southland, I guess.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go back down there. I went through, well, it would have been 2019, October of 2019 was the last time I was down in the hills. And it was just passing through. I was on my way down to Colorado Springs for a good friend of mine who I grew up with in Spearfish. She was getting married in Colorado Springs. And I made the trek down there. I stopped. I spent the night in Rapid City and such. That's the last time I was in the hills. Which hopefully one of these days we get Pat on the show. World's nicest guy. I have yet to meet somebody who is nicer than Pat, and he was pleasantly surprised, and his family was also incredibly surprised when I showed up. Kidder knows all this, but when I was in middle school and into early high school. There was a group of 4 of us who ran together, good friends, and now we live all across the country. So Pat's down in Colorado Springs, Sean's in St. Louis, Adam is somewhere in Washington. I've kind of lost track of him. He's a hard one to keep track of. I've been to all of their weddings and such, but yeah, I hadn't seen Pat in probably 2 or 3 years. So, it was kind of cool to see him. Hoping to get him on the show. Would be fun to get Sean on the show too. Adam, I don't think we'd ever get. He's kind of an interesting individual. Be an interesting person to talk to. He's a hard one to track down. I don't know that he's had the easiest of lives since we moved. But anyway, that's me being nostalgic for pointless reasons. But gentlemen,
pointless reasons.
Yeah, well, you know me. We've been talking for quite a while, and we're starting to run out of steam. So I kind of feel like we are.
I was going to bring up how the Expanse is now continuing in a different form. And you might be interested in this because they are working on a Kickstarter for graphic novels to continue the show in graphic novel form. Their initial goal on Kickstarter was $25,000. They have, as of the recording right now, $1,037,084 with almost 9,000 backers and 12 days to go. Different rewards on this. Well, I mean, let me see if I can. It's been a little bit since I looked at these sorts of things. If I click the thing and then find, you can get a starter set with a graphic novel, an Origins 126 page item, a digital version of the complete set, a soft cover complete set, an exclusive single issue set, a hardcover set, a red metal boxed set, a different red metal boxed set, a gold metal box set, an elite metal boxed set, and that reward is no longer available anyway. So those are out there, and there are supposed to be 12 volumes of that, at least in a digital version, coming out, continuing the story from the actual owners, etc., of the IP of the Expanse with the characters from the television show. Obviously, they're novels as well, but this is a graphic novel, so they will be portrayed as the characters you saw on the television show, which is one of the best space-based sci-fi shows out there. And if you haven't watched it, it's on the Amazonian Prime, so go check it out. Watch all 6 seasons, binge watch it. Enjoyable. Hope you like it.
So now the
And
question
on the
is, Kidder,
topic of, go for it.
I was just going to ask him. So, Kidder, did you back it?
No. And the reason I'm not like huge for graphic novels or comic books, and I don't need something else sitting around. And yes, I could give them, just money, but I would like something in return. And ultimately, I would like to see it return to television in some form to continue on the stories, because they left it open to continue the stories. And being one of the best sci-fi shows on streaming and television, I felt they got hosed by it being canceled, basically.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I was just curious that. Sounded like Big D had a follow-up question. So,
Oh, it wasn't so much a follow-up as a throwback, but it was kind of on your topic or on your comments about losing steam. And then Kidder hopped in with his thing, and I was about to say at that particular juncture that when I was coming back from my conference in Virginia, I stopped at the USO in the Minneapolis airport. There's an Army retired or almost retired Lieutenant Colonel talking to a Coast Guard Chief Warrant Officer, and Coastie, and about all the various places he liked to go and travel and go. I think he was talking about ice fishing, but whatever he was talking about, he referenced Spearfish. And it's like, and nobody lives there, and anybody there. I'm like, I know a guy. Made me chuckle.
It is kind of humorous, but
it made me chuckle because actually I knew a guy, and he was like, "Oh, nobody's there." Like, no, I know a guy who's from there, so you piss off. So
I know one guy. Yeah, there's one person from there, and he left for a reason. The funny thing about it is, to continue the global connection with this, you hearing it in airports across the country, but our close friend of the show, Clinton Cunanan, working with Blacklight District. Howard knew original members of that band, and Clinton is working with the band Blacklight District, who is based out of Spearfish, South Dakota. So again, another Spearfish reference as they continue to get the hell out of there and go everywhere else but Spearfish.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I was going to, ask Clinton if he knew CK, because that would be interesting. CK is on my list of people I'd like to eventually get on the show. But yes, he was an original member of Blacklight District.
Well, let's do it.
I don't really have a great contact with him, but CK I knew was my best friend in middle school, or in elementary school up through middle school, until I wasn't cool enough to sit at the cool kids table with him. But he's been down in Galveston, Texas, working as a tattoo. He owns a couple of tattoo shops down there. Has been very successful with that. Interesting guy. He's done some cover art for some albums for some bands. Played in Blacklight District. Has an award-winning tattoo shop. Would be a really interesting guy to talk to. But yeah, I was curious if Clinton knew him. Next time Clinton is on, I'll have to ask.
Oh, yeah, I might know a guy. You know what I'm saying? Do a little investigative reporting there, huh?
You really are pushing this investigative reporting thing hard.
Beer, blues, and BS. Hitting hard and answering the tough questions.
That nobody wanted.
I'm drinking like the Irish.
Aye. We get it going there. It's about time. Why not? It's green over here. It's green over here. It's green over there. It's practically Ireland.
Keep it clean. Keep it green. Keep it. What the frick? Oh, you're a spider.
Yeah, I'm down to the last 4 legs and trying to figure out where they go.
Probably on the body.
Right.
To the exterminator.
It's going to be hard to show on camera, but each spot where you have to put one in, they have a different shape to the connector. And so trying to find the right shape on the leg makes it a little interesting to try and get this kind of placed.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, personally, your
Howard's
problem.
sticking things where they shouldn't go and being all sticky.
Hey, I have yet to glue my fingers. I'm doing good.
It's
Doing
just
good.
getting weirder and weirder the longer this goes. Next thing, the murder bird's gonna come swooping in and steal the damn thing from him.
I'm pretty sure the murder bird has already made an appearance or two on this episode.
And next thing we know, the French version of me is going to come out too.
Question is, on whose screen did it come out on? Just gonna have to keep an eye out. And if you missed it, go back and look. Can you find the murder bird?
Big D's fighting him off now.
That's our next product. There we go.
I don't know if it was the murder bird or just his other personalities, but poor guy or guys.
You're just going to say this now, Kidder. Two things. One, our next new product, Where's the Murder Bird? It's a parody of Where's Waldo. One of those pictures you have to try and pick him out. Second thing, on that terrible bit of acting, we really now have been talking for quite a while and should wrap this thing up with some cheap plugs, probably presented by our new investigative reporting division, since, damn it, they're going to have to pay for their existence.
Well, let me tell you something over here, Howard. We got the finest quality products anywhere in the globe. We've searched high and low, left and right, up and down, everywhere in between. We found the highest quality products at beerbluesbs.com. Look at that. Beer, blues, and BS. It's got the .com on there because we're not an organization. We're a corporation here at the Beer Blues BS, the Triple B, as it were. Get yourself one of these high-quality pint glasses, or maybe 3, maybe 6 for the whole family. Make sure everybody's drinking out of this quality product. Or maybe one of these here, this is the Kidder-approved old-fashioned. There's no freaking cherry in this thing. The cherry ruins the whole thing, and it screws up the drink. It makes it a Wisconsin old-fashioned. That is not a traditional old-fashioned. It's absolute trash. Get the cherries and get the hell out of here. You go to jail for that sort of thing, and I'll investigate and prosecute that to the extent of the earth. By the way, you can get this glass at beerbluesbs.com as well. Click on merch because it's a quality product from Triple B. Speaking of another quality product, you want a beer? How about maybe a water with some hops and grain? Yeah. That there Mark Kidder right there on the glass. You can get this design at the beerbluesbs.com with the quality Triple B logo showing off the website so you can show your family and friends that you support investigative, hard-hitting reporting here at the Triple B. It's really the thing that you need to do. Triple B online, beerbluesbs.com. Go to the top, click on merch. If you don't want to go to the top and click on merch, you know what? We could always use another beer or two, or in Howard's case, a tall boy that's got some hard-hitting alcohol content in there. Oh, good gracious, he's got himself a tea again. This is outrageous. I'm going to have to cut this short because I can't handle when there's another iced tea on there. He has had more non-alcoholic beverages. Oh my gosh, it just makes the room smokier with how much my brain's lighting on fire here. This is absolutely insane. Okay, so we talked about buying a beer. We talked about the merch. We talked about contacting us. I'm talking about it now. Contact us. You could sponsor the show. Be the premier sponsor of Beer Blues BS for the low price of you contact us and then we figure it out. You know what I mean? That's what we do in the investigative reporting division. We get that whole thing figured out. It's going to be great. Sponsor the Triple B. You get places. We both get places together. We find out information, digging it up, making it happen at beerbluesbs.com. You want to listen to us too? You want to watch this episode? Hey, we're all over the place. We're on the YouTube for the video version. Please hit the sub button right there. Like and subscribe for free and help us get different places in front of more people. Got to get that algorithm going. You know what I mean? Investigate that subscription right there for free at youtube.com/beerbluesbs. We're also on all the audio versions. If you're on any of those audio podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, Player FM. How about Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, the Amazon Podcasts? We are on all of those platforms. So if you're on any of them or all of them, please search Beer Blues BS. Make sure you subscribe for free. And please click the thumbs up on that because we could really get in front of some more people, you know what I mean? Share this investigative reporting for everybody. The fans of the Triple B need to know. This is need to know information. It's classified documents being opened and shared to the public. BeerBluesBS.com. Other than that, hey, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're all over the place sharing the Triple B. If you'd like us, that would be fantastic. Go to the page, facebook.com/beerbluesbs. Click the thumbs up. Go to instagram.com/beerbluesandbs. Or if you're using the app, you get the phone. Go on there, search on Instagram, Beer Blues BS. Then you could be an investigative reporter too for the Triple B. You know what I'm saying? You go on there, you click follow, you like the stuff, you share the stuff. We get the information out to the public. We're hard hitting here at the Triple B, and you can be part of it. BeerBluesBS.com for all those links and more. So I suppose that's about enough with the cheap plugs. The merch, the glasses, all kinds of great stuff at BeerBluesBS.com. Go on there. I'm staring at Howard's forehead right now, so it's time to get the hell out of here before he glues himself to the damn camera. Hey, Big D over there. Thanks, man, for dragging yourself out of the business center for this here show tonight. Appreciate that.
I can't do a sound effect of a toilet flushing.
Okay, I mean, that's pretty much no comment. It is what it is. All right, well, for Howard Blues, he's over there doing this thing. We'll just let him figure that out with, the glue and the beer and the iced tea and the spiders, things happening. It's one of them there. Things that shouldn't be mentioned. Seeing some weird things here. Hey, I'm the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Canopy, the investigative reporter for the Triple B. Tonight, make sure that number one, you keep your glass at least half full. Number two, there's free beer tomorrow. And hey, we're going to investigate some great stuff as we continue rolling on down the Tuscan Highway. Hey, you have a good one. We'll see you on the next episode of Beer Blues and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Kidder, good to see you.
I'd say good to see you too, but you for hiding.
I'm not hiding, man. I'm setting something up for us to talk about.
Oh,
I'm trying to put together content over here.
so he's sleazing.
Hey, look, as far as I have seen, I had or been the only person who had added a majority to the run sheet of any content. So,
Oh, well, you know what? There
Gotcha.
you go.
Yeah, if you take 3, I'll take 4. Oh, we were thinking the same thing. So here, let's do this. And Boom.
Show Howard what's up.
Man, you guys are trolly tonight.
Yeah, no, gotta watch out for Kidder. He might still be feeling a little spicy after all those ball jokes last week.
Just like water, runs right off.
Truthfully, I was waiting for Kidder that whole time to go, joke's on you guys. I've saved, hundreds of dollars not having to buy a haircut every,
Hundreds.
month.
It's been like 10 years. Try thousands.
Listen,
I know how much you guys
I gotta get one every
pay for haircuts.
every 3 weeks, pretty much.